The Calgary Flames' losing streak has been bumped up to 5 games now, and while it does suck watching them lose night after night, it really does help their 2024 NHL Draft Lottery odds. And with all the trades that the Flames have made over the past couple of seasons, it has sparked a bit of confusion over the stipulations and protections on some of the picks that they do have and some of the picks that they do owe. So in this video, we will clear up all of the confusion regarding those picks and maybe speculate on where the Flames could be drafting in this upcoming June. Welcome to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here, you love the Flames, you want to stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors regarding the Calgary Flames, then make sure you subscribe and you can join the fastest growing community of Flames fans on the internet. I am so thankful for each and every single one of you. Love the community we're building here, and we'd love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. But the losing streak, it really stinks. You know, it stinks to watch your favorite team lose consistently, especially since they haven't been playing the strongest opponents lately. But in the long term, it really does help. I know Team Tank are stoked about this losing streak. And you know what? They've won at this point. We know the Flames aren't going to make the playoffs. So let's talk about how the losing streak continues. Once again from last night, the Flames were out in St. Louis to play the Blues. And you know what? It was a pretty exciting game, to be honest. And at least the Flames scored a few goals for once. It seemed like they've just been so dry lately. But they did end up taking a 5-3 loss to the St. Louis Blues. And some players, you know what, they played really great. Look at Andrei Kuzmenko's game. That was probably his best game as a Flame so far. He scored a couple beauty goals, especially the first one, absolutely pickpocketing Justin Falk and dangling the heck out of Jordan Binnington. And then his second goal was a beautiful tip off of a chip pass by Kadri. Andersson, I thought, played pretty well until he essentially gave up the Flames' empty net goal for them. He's definitely Team Tank, it looks, but he had tied the game in the third at 4, but unfortunately it was offside, and it really was offside. It looked offside in real time, let alone on the replays. But either way, not the worst showing by the Flames. Dustin Wolf didn't look spectacular in that game at all, but none of the defense really did. Tkachuk, oh man, he is struggling right now. I kind of think he might be the odd man out when it comes to next season. But he just hasn't looked strong lately or at all as a Flame since being dealt over. But you know what? Hopefully he finds his game, or the Flames are happy to play some other players. I know Shillington was out, which obviously makes a difference. But either way, another loss for the Flames, but it does help their draft lottery odds. So let's get into that. The draft lottery odds. There it is right there on the screen. So this year is probably the Flames' worst season in maybe a decade or so, and they just continue to fall, which is great. And some teams have the chance to pass them in the standings, which means the Flames should be guaranteed, a bottom 10 spot in the standings, which gives them a chance at the first overall pick. Now, I don't want to clickbait big time with saying, oh, the Flames are going to go for Celebrini. They're going to be slacking for Macklin or get out your weenie for Celebrini or whatever the kids say. I did not come up with those. But here's an article. Flames could risk falling out of contention for first overall draft pick. Now, that obviously is absolute clickbait. It's not like the Flames have the strongest chance at the first overall pick, but it's not out of the question. That's right. The contention, they are in contention, just like how they're still technically in contention for the playoffs this year. But that's not going to happen. It would take a miracle bigger than turning water to wine for the Flames to get the first overall pick this year. They would really have to win this lottery. But their chances are getting better. So let's take a look at the stipulations here. The league rules that a team that wins the lottery can only move up a maximum of 10 spots in the draft order. This means teams on the playoff bubble ranked 12 to 16 in the draft will not be able to secure the first overall pick, even if the lottery balls land their way. So essentially, the Flames need to guarantee that they finish 11th from the bottom or worse. And at this point, I mean, there's no way they're going to drop into, the bottom 3 or anything. But there's a chance they could sink into that bottom 5, which wouldn't be a bad thing. Every single game the Flames play, I want them to win while I watch, But then I think about it, and losing is better at this point. It really does help the Flames big time. So as much as I want to see them win and want to see them compete every night, and it's so fun watching them win, the losses are more valuable at this point than the short-term glee that you get from watching your favorite team win. So let's take a look at the odds as they stand right now. So the Flames are 8th bottom right now. And so teams like San Jose, Chicago, Anaheim, they're terrible, right? Columbus even, no chance. But those other 3 teams there in the 5th, 6th, and 7th slots, Arizona, Montreal, and Ottawa, they are all on winning streaks right now, kind of shockingly. Ottawa, a 4-game winning streak. They could pass Calgary decently soon if they keep it up. Montreal, same thing. They're on a 3-game winning streak where they have looked insane defensively, and their goaltending has been fantastic, and they've beat some pretty good teams. And then Arizona, where do they come from? Last night, they ended Nashville's streak of no regulation losses in what seems like forever, ever since the U2 concert was canceled or whatever Andrew Brunette decided to do. But either way, Arizona's on a 2-game win streak now. Montreal's been winning. Ottawa's been winning. Calgary, they have been losing. So last night, Seattle leapfrogged them in the standings, which is good. So Calgary, bottom 8 right now, and that gives them, at the current stand right now, a 6% chance of landing that first overall pick, which isn't tiny. But look, if they fall 3 places and get into that top 5, they have an 8.5% chance of getting that first overall pick. So the losses, they're perfect right now. They really are perfect. If they keep piling them on, that's great. The Flames have 10 games left. Almost all of them are against divisional opponents. I know they play Anaheim a couple times and San Jose a couple times. It'll be interesting to see which one wants to tank more. That being said, I know the athletes themselves play as hard as they can. They want to win every night. I want them to win every night as well. But it will be interesting to see that losses aren't bad right now. And we haven't been able to say that as Flames fans in a long time because they're always so close to making the playoffs towards the end of the season, playing meaningful hockey into April. That this season is the first time where pretty much every game is meaningless going into April. The Flames, now that Vegas passed LA in the standings, the Flames won't be knocked out of playoff contention come Saturday, but shortly after that, I'm sure they will be. But that being said, I know a lot of people are a little bit confused about some of the picks that the Flames have or the ones they owe from certain trades in the past. So oh, I hit the wrong button. There it is, clearing up the confusion. So I've got a lot of comments lately, kind of explaining the picks because the Flames, they owe a pick next year to Montreal from the Sean Monahan trade, which was an awful trade by Tree Living as one of his last trades that he made. It really just benefited Montreal. They got a free 2 draft picks really and a good player for them for a little while, which kind of stunk. So the Flames do have their pick for this year because it is top 20 protected. But you know what? From a comment from a previous video that someone else commented, I can't remember who it was. I apologize. I kind of took what they wrote and wrote it up a little bit clearer so it makes even more sense. So here you guys go. The first rounder that the Flames sent to the Canadians is top 20 protected this year. I mean, the Flames are going to be picking top 20. It would take literally the biggest miracle of all time if they didn't. And top 10 protected next year. If the Flames stumble next year and pick in the top 10, then they retain their pick. And that is pretty realistic at this point. It looks like the Flames might be another team tank next year. But if they get the 11th pick or worse next year, so they finish higher in the standings, then Montreal gets the better of the Flames' first round pick or the one they acquired from Florida in the Tkachuk trade. So no matter what, Montreal will be getting one of Calgary's first round picks next year. Now, is it going to be the actual Flames pick, or it will be, if Florida somehow finishes lower than Calgary, then they will, the Habs will get Florida's pick. So here, I'll just bring that up again. We'll try and even explain it even better. So if they get the 11th pick or worse next year, then Montreal gets the better of the Flames' first round pick or the one they acquired from Florida. So no matter what, Montreal is getting a pick next year. If the Flames do finish bottom 10, the Flames retain that pick and Montreal gets Florida's pick. Or if the Flames finish worse than 10th, but the Panthers somehow finish lower, then again, Montreal gets Florida's pick. But most likely, in all reality, the Flames will finish bottom 10 next year and Florida's pick will go to Montreal. And that's just great business by Montreal. But But here are the draft picks that the Flames do have. So this season, they obviously have a couple first rounders. They are going to keep theirs because they are going to finish bottom 20. They also have Vancouver's from the Lindholm trade. Now, it says for next year, they only have one first round pick. That's because one technically does belong to Montreal. But as I just said, it will either be the Flames' actual pick or Florida's pick. But either way, the Flames have a huge draft coming up ahead. And if they do continue to lose, that could maximize their chance at picking at the first pick. But no matter what, it looks like they should have a top 10 pick for sure, and it would be great if they can get at least a top 5 pick. So hopefully, I know even explaining it was complicated, but I do fully understand it. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment down below, and we can clear that up even more. I know it's crazy, a classic Brad Treliving trade with so many stipulations from the Montreal trade and getting a first from Florida and all that nonsense. But either way, let's wrap this up with the comment of the day. Now, once again, the comment revolves around the Flames jerseys. You guys love talking about the Flames' uniforms from the past, and there was quite a funny one from yesterday's video, and it came from JESD319. Whoever said Calgary has the worst jersey is absolutely crazy person who probably loves the Pontiac Aztec. Sorry, not sorry. Obviously, that comment got a couple likes. But hey, the Pontiac Aztec, it's a little bit of a dependable vehicle, isn't it? I guess it's a little old at this point, and anything American made. I don't know anything about cars, but come on, it doesn't look that bad, does it? Okay, maybe I'm wrong here. It really ain't a pretty car. If you drive a Pontiac Aztec, I apologize. But like JESD said, sorry, not sorry. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today, and make sure you have a lovely start to your weekend.